moving on to our next topic. Marc Gasol was just announced that he was going to be out for the rest of the season with this foot surgery he had to undergo. And it's justified to ask the question, how is this going to shake up the Western Conference now? Because now that Marc Gasol isn't there, that's their leading scorer. He averages 16.6 points a game. And you sit there and you wonder, how can this affect how is this going to drop a Memphis Grizzlies team that was their only all-star for this season? So you sit there and you ask the question, who's now more inclined to probably move up in the West, or who's more inclined to fall out of the Western Conference race? So, guys, let me hear what you guys think, because right now the current Western Conference standings are Golden State is first, San Antonio is second, Oklahoma City's third, the Clippers are fourth, Memphis is fifth, Dallas is sixth, and Portland is seventh, along with Utah at eight. And Utah has a one-game lead on Houston, who is ninth in the West. So, guys, who do you see Memphis sliding, and then who do you see rising up to maybe take the fifth spot, or do you see them all saying the same? Rashad, let's start off with you. What do you think?
So every year you always hear the Memphis Grizzlies has a chance to make it to the championship because they're a nice rugged team that plays hard defense, hard everything. It's one of those teams you see, but now when you lose the number one piece of your team, it looks really bad. It looks really bad. It looks like, okay, this team's gonna slide out completely, which I don't agree. So I don't think that the team will drop out the playoff race because the team is still a solid team without them. They'll still be solid without them. They won't be as effective as a team, but they'll still be solid. They'll still be enough to outdo like the Jazz. Now, who I do see the Jazz sliding out and the Rockets sliding in. As far as the other pieces, everybody else is looking kind of like this. Looks like it's going to be the playoff picture for the West, especially this again late in the season. It's starting to see this is what's going to playoffs is going to look like. But I don't see the Rockets not being in it. I do see the Memphis dropping down to about 6 or 7. I don't see them being 8. I see about a 6 or 7 this year instead of top 5 like they normally are. So losing Marc Gasol do hurt. It does hurt the team, but I don't see them completely sliding out the playoffs.
Okay, Kyler, what do you think?
Losing Marc Gasol, a pivotal piece in your offense, and one of the backbones to your defense, it's definitely gonna hurt the team a lot. I do think they're gonna slide down a little bit, probably like what Rashad was saying about round 7. Rockets will slide in, Jazz will fall down out of the top 8, and and Dallas is gonna move up, as well as Portland. This is really gonna change like the flow of the Memphis Grizzlies whole organizations and setup, because throughout the season they've been having many shifts throughout their lineup and formations and stuff like that. They even had Zach Randolph and Tony Allen coming off the bench at one point. Yeah. So without Marc Gasol, it's really going to hurt this team.
You know what's weird? Because right now, as it says, Portland and Dallas had the same exact record, but Dallas takes the tiebreaker over Portland, so they're the 6th spot. So I mean, what's the ranking that you guys see? Do you see maybe Dallas being 5th? Do you see Portland being 5th? Do you see maybe Memphis remaining at 5th or something? Because the way it's looking right now, I mean, either Dallas or Portland could leap up and possibly take away the 5th spot from the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, I mean, right now they're in the past few games they've gone 2-1 without Marc Gasol. They lost their last game, but the 2 previous games when he didn't play, they won those 2 games. So they've shown that they can win without him.
Yeah. Now I see Portland being the 5th because the way Damian Lillard's playing right now, 5 straight games, 30+ points. That he's really trying to carry this team. He's really trying to show he can do it without LaMarcus Aldridge, without Wes Matthews, without Nick Batum. He's trying to show he can do it without them, and he's actually proving that he can. CJ McCollum stepped up big time this year. Is really showing that this team can play, especially since they're actually playing a lot faster than they were before.
Yeah.
So this is a team. If Damian Lillard can stay how he's playing, I mean, I'm not saying 30 points every night, but if he stays as efficient and as effective as he is right now, I see this team easily being 5th.
All right, Colin, what about you? What do you think?
I can kind of see them. I can still see Dallas and Portland interchangeable for 5th. Dallas is still such a great team, very offensive, and like Rashad was saying, Damian Lillard has been going off these past games, 30 points and plus 30+ points a game. Is looking kind of like it's up in the air really. I think whatchamacallit, Dallas will still be 5th and Portland will be 6th. Just because they do have a tiebreaker, I feel like Dallas will still win games as well, as much as the Trailblazers.
See, man, it's such a struggle for me because a lot of what the Trailblazers do is guard oriented. It's so based out of their backcourt, but their backcourt is exceptional. It's been really good this year.
One of the top best backcourts in the league.
Yeah, man. And right now, Portland's ranked 7th in offensive efficiency, but Dallas is ranked 11th. But then when you look at the defensive side of the ball, Dallas is 17th, and then on defensive efficiency, then Portland is 19th. So both those teams are like neck and neck with each other in both categories. And so, but it's hard for me because Memphis is 15 in defensive efficiency. So I mean, they played. Granted, Marc Gasol was the anchor of the defense.
Like that's about to drop.
Go down. Yeah. And they were 19th on offensive efficiency,
which is going to drop as well.
Do you see maybe Memphis playing maybe a faster paced game now with Marc Gasol out? Maybe more falls on Mike Conley. And
see, this is how I feel about that. I feel Zebo's going to have to start playing a lot. He's going to be more user rate out of him because Marc Gasol is out. So you have to basically now accustom your game around him more so. Yeah, Mike Conley's there, but as a big man perspective, you have to kind of focus around him more than you would Marc Gasol, who can actually is a nice offensive threat. And he's also a lot taller than Zebo. So that kind of changes the whole atmosphere of the team. Because if you go small ball, can Zebo really keep up run the floor constantly? And if you take him out, then who do you have? Who do you have really as a big man there?
Zebo is the leading rebounder.
So
yeah, I guess it's one of those things because I mean, think about it. You put Zebo in at center, right?
Yeah.
And then you run a small ball lineup with him at center. I mean, but the problem with
what if he's
the Memphis Grizzlies is that they don't have the shooting to do so. That's the only difficulty with them. Memphis is everybody's always known Memphis to be that rough and tumble team. They're not gonna score a lot of points, but what they would do is try and limit you on defense and make you play their tempo. And now without Marc Gasol, you don't have that. I mean,
you got it, but you can't.
You got to go into Zach Randolph a lot more. And Zach Randolph, like Khalid was saying earlier, comes off the bench. So it's going to be interesting, honestly. I mean, I think we're kind of sleeping on Dallas a little bit, maybe too, because Dirk Nowitzki hasn't had to carry as much weight as he's had to in the past. And Zaza Pachulia has been playing great for Dallas. And Deron Williams he hasn't played great, but he's played solid.
He's feeling rolled up pretty well.
Yeah, he's played solid. Wesley Matthews, Chandler Parsons, and all them, they're doing their thing. So, I mean, are we sleeping on Dallas a little bit? You know, Dallas could slide into the 5th spot.
It's not that I'm sleeping on Dallas. It's just seeing how explosive on offense the Portland has been. It's kind of hard to.
But is it Portland or is it Damian Lillard?
Damian Lillard is kind of making his team play better right now because now a lot of concentration is going towards him. And it just depends. The players got to knock down their shots.
Because isn't one of those things? Because we're saying that Portland's played great these past 2 games,
but Damian Lillard,
they've all been games where he's had to score 30 plus points, and it's not like a 30 plus points that Steph gets easily in his sleep. You know what I mean? Damian has to work hard for these 30 plus points. He has to dribble a lot sometimes to get these 30 plus points. And so much is pulling your backcourt that can wear down on their legs. That can tire them out. Whereas Dallas, you see, it's a lot more team game kind of thing. They're not focusing on just getting the ball into Dirk or whatever. Everybody's kind of in the flow of the offense. Like that's what, and I would say
what makes it better.
Dallas definitely has the coaching edge with Rick Carlisle on the Portland Trailblazers because Rick Carlisle he's a championship coach, and he just knows how to get the best out of his players. And I feel like they have that edge over the Portland Trailblazers throughout the season. And I feel like coming down the stretch, Dallas might have the team with the more depth at the end of the day because Portland, at this point, when we look at their depth, I mean, you look at how they got Myers Leonard and stuff like that. But and Myers Leonard is not even that. That's like the main player because CJ McCollum used to come off the bench, and now when you have him in the starting lineup,
see that's the thing. Like they're a more complete team. Dallas is a way more complete team than Portland. But for a complete team as they are, why are they only where they are right now? You kind of get what I'm saying?
I mean, because you got the Warriors.
I mean, Spurs. Yeah, I mean, those spots are pretty much locked. The top 4 is pretty much where it's at, where it stands. But the Grizzlies is like you're saying. The Grizzlies is a rough, tough defensive team that can't shoot. Basically,
yeah.
Why can't you get past them at the beginning?
I mean, they're only 2 games behind for real.
But they're behind. I mean, I mean, you can like we're right. Marc Gasol was great. Marc Gasol. I mean, there's a reason they were there because that team was a complete team as well for the starting lineup wise. So it's just I don't know. It's just too close to say right now. Like, but I feel like unless they just hit a drastic decline. Because think about what they did. Think about what Portland did to the Warriors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's the only team above 500 that did them dirty like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because most of their losses to teams below 500. So like you see potential in this team, like what they can actually do.
But look about what the Mavericks did to the Warriors. The Mavericks beat them too.
Was it like that
Steph
though?
Curry didn't play.
Was it like
the
that
Mavericks
though?
beat them too. I mean,
it wasn't like that. You're right. It was a win,
won,
but it wasn't no.
Not everybody's going to blow out the Warriors every
time they win.
You know what I'm saying?
But and the Warriors team had everybody playing too.
They did.
You get so like you said, they didn't have Steph against the Mavericks.
They didn't.
Steph played. Steph had 31.
He did.
So, and Damian Lillard had 50.
He did.
So,
and let me read a comment from Football America. He said that losing him hurts the NBA. It definitely does hurt the NBA because Marc Gasol is one of the international players that brings a lot of Hispanic viewers to the NBA game because a lot of people watch and support Marc Gasol. So definitely losing him does hurt the NBA. But we're gonna move